I mean, just to walk in here and see all these fans supporting us is unreal.
That's all you try to do is go out there and focus and do your job and just keep making one pitch at a time.
We on our way to the top, yeah, yeah, yeah. We on our way to the top, yeah, yeah, yeah. They gotta sit back and watch, yeah, yeah, yeah. We on our way to the, we on our way to the, yeah, we on our way to the top.
Look, make sure you mention my name with the greats. Whole lot of talk, but it ain't no debate. We light it up like we causing an accident, but it ain't no mistake. Seat at the table, I carry the weight. They want the beef, so we hire the steaks. Bust in the kitchen and fire the chef.
We on our way to the top, yeah, yeah, yeah. We on our way to the.
You got 8 seconds to prove you're worth the price of admission. And you got Baylor Scott and White Health along for the ride. So square up. You got this.
MCC has definitely benefited me most on not only what I want to do, but who I aspire to be. Expect every professor to help you become who you want to be and more. Create your own success at MCC.
RJ's Bargain Center is your home team for appliances at unbeatable prices. From refrigerators to washers, dryers to stoves, you'll find brand new appliances with huge discounts. And just like your favorite local teams, RJ's is proud to support our community and local sports. Score your savings today at RJ's Bargain Center, 711 Lynn Street, Waco. Call 254-224-6178. RJ's Bargain Center, where big savings are always a home run.
Son, all your car needs now is a stereo system. Now I know just the spot to go get it. Man, Jack Stereo.
Oh yeah, they're the best. How'd you know about that place?
Because that's where my dad took me.
Oh, that's cool.
And I'm the coolest cat on the block.
Oh my God.
Need a new audio system for your new ride? Jack Stereo has been selling the best stereos and equipment for generations after generations. Come visit your local store today. Those in the know, go to Jack Stereo, Waco, Temple, Killeen, and Bryan College Station.
This is why you need Centex Primetime. Jalen Gillis brings the realness. Dive into the heart of sports with the most passionate commentary around. From pro to high school, Jalen's got the insight and energy you crave. Catch all the action weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. on the Centex Sports Network, only on YouTube. Join the conversation and elevate your sports knowledge with Centex Primetime. Don't miss it.
Right now, the trade deadline is on Thursday. Players have already been traded. The Jaren Jackson Jr. news has broke. He's on his way to Utah. Some other small trades. We've got James Harden asking for another trade request. We got to talk about that. I can't even defend James no more, man. You know, that's my boy. But this is, I think, the 6th trade request he's had in, I want to say, 7 or 8 years. So, I mean, that's pretty crazy. But We'll talk about the James Harden news as well. Giannis could potentially be on his way out. I'll talk about the Warriors potentially parting ways with Draymond Green, and does that mean anything? I don't think it means that much at all. But we'll talk about that today as well. The Super Bowl is on Sunday. Super Bowl Sunday is finally here. Got some time off in between. No one will be watching. No one watched the Pro Bowl this past weekend. I know I didn't watch the Pro Bowl. I don't even know what they do. The only clips I've seen, they were playing dodgeball. So I don't even know what happens in the Pro Bowl anymore. But the last football game we have of the year, which is the Super Bowl, is this weekend. Of course, we'll talk about that. I'll give my predictions on the game. Seahawks versus the Patriots on Sunday, playing to Santa Clara. We'll talk about that today. We'll do some quick takes, talk about what's going on around the world of sports. Bill Belichick not making it into the Hall of Fame as a first ballot Hall of Famer. We'll talk about now the news that came out this morning. Robert Kraft will not be a first ballot Hall of Famer, who's the owner of the New England Patriots. We'll talk about that. Still got some college football news to talk about. Had a good boxing match this weekend. So we've got plenty to cover here on Centex Primetime. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe as always. Jump in the live chat over on YouTube. We'll talk back with you as we get throughout the show here today. Let's jump right into the NBA news. Jaren Jackson Jr. out of Memphis on his way to Utah. The Memphis Grizzlies finally make a trade, and it's not exactly the trade that everybody thought they were going to make. Everybody was expecting to see Ja Morant next to these headlines whenever they say Memphis Grizzlies made a trade, but it's not Ja Morant. But I do think this trade has something to do with a potential Ja Morant trade. But Jaren Jackson Jr. on his way out, he's headed to Utah. He's part of a multiple team trade that's going to send first round pick this past year for the Utah Jazz, a NCAA champion last year with the Florida Gators as well. They'll get Kyle Anderson, Taylor Hendricks, and Georges Niang will all be headed to Memphis. The Utah Jazz will get Jaren Jackson Jr., Jock Landale, and John Concher, as well as Vince Williams Jr. So really a lot of salary cap swap is what's going on. The Jazz get Jaren Jackson Jr., the Grizzlies get a bunch of picks. 3 first-round picks also heading down there to Memphis with Walter Clayton Jr. and those other guys as well. So this is Memphis starting to rebuild. Everybody said the news about Ja could be on his way out. We've seen the videos and now him arguing with Vince Williams Jr., looking like they're not even teammates out there. So Ja Morant, we all expected he could be on his way out, but Jaren Jackson Jr. gets traded first. And this wasn't surprising to me. You trade him while his value is at the highest. Jaren Jackson Jr. is only 26 years old. He's a defensive player of the year. He's an all-star. You trade him when his value is the highest. Utah obviously building for the future. They have plenty of picks to spare. I like the move for him heading to Utah. He'll get a new contract probably as soon as he gets down there. Probably this summer they'll work out a different contract extension for him because the Grizzlies weren't going to pay that contract extension. That's what this is mainly about. They tried it with Dylan Brooks and Jaren Jackson and Ja Morant and all these guys, even Steven Adams at one point, and it didn't work. So if you're going to trade Ja, you're pretty much rebuilding. He's the star. He's the main guy of the franchise. So you start with Jaren Jackson Jr. in order to clear some more space. Now they can pretty much just take on a bunch of salaries from any team. Whoever wants to trade for Ja Morant, in order to make the money work, they've got to trade guys with higher salaries, probably some salary cap dumps. Memphis is going to be able to take on all of that. They've got the most first-round picks over the next 7 years, tied with the Oklahoma City Thunder. So they are rebuilding and trying to rebuild similar to what we saw the Thunder do. We saw the Thunder trade away Russell Westbrook and get a haul of picks from the Washington Wizards. We saw them trade away Paul George and get a haul of picks from the Clippers and got SGA, who ended up becoming their MVP, finals MVP, lead these guys to the finals. But with all those draft picks, they were able to draft the Chet Holmgrens, the Lou Dorts, all these different guys that they've drafted and helped build this team up, the Jalen Williams. They were able to do all of that through the draft. The Utah Jazz are saying, hey, we can do the same thing here. We can trade for a star with Jaren Jackson Jr. We still got some young players. Keontae George, I talked about on the show a couple of weeks ago, one of the most exciting players to watch in the NBA right now, even though he's playing for the Utah Jazz. Keontae George is much-watched TV. He's averaging almost 25 points a game. You pair him with Jaren Jackson Jr., with Walker Kessler, with Lauri Markkanen, Ace Bailey, who they just drafted in the lottery. They're building They've got some building blocks in Utah. If you're looking at the Grizzlies, they're trying to replicate what the Thunder were doing, but we don't know who those guys are yet. They're going to get rid of Ja. They got rid of Jaren Jackson Jr. They got rid of Dylan Brooks. They've got rid of majority of their high-earning guys on the team. They're going to rebuild, and that's all Memphis can do. Let's just be honest. That's the only thing Memphis can do is try to rebuild. This is not New York. This is not L.A. LeBron's not going to the Grizzlies. Luka's not going to the Grizzlies. Giannis is not going to the Grizzlies. No star is coming to Memphis. The only thing you can do is build through the draft, similar to Oklahoma City. There weren't any stars going to Oklahoma City. Paul George re-signing was their biggest free agent signing in Oklahoma City Thunder history. They've always built through the draft. When it was Russ, KD, James Harden, it was through the draft. Now with SGA and these guys, it's through the draft. The Grizzlies have to try to do the same thing. Will it work? Probably not. Everybody tries to rebuild an NBA. Most teams can't do it. Most teams don't do what Oklahoma City's done. Most teams don't do what my Houston Rockets have done. As far as getting rid of James Harden, who was a top 5 player in the league, and 4 or 5 years later, you're back in championship contention. Most teams don't even do that. So I don't know if the Grizzlies recover from this, but they're starting the avalanche now, starting the snowfall now. Jaren Jackson Jr. on his way to Utah. Where will Ja be traded? We've heard the Miamis. We've heard a lot of different cities. Some people are saying New York. New York. How would he go to New York if they got Jalen Brunson? Maybe the Clippers. I could see something happening with the Clippers and Ja Morant heading down there. Would the Grizzlies want to take on a James Harden? I doubt it, because James is not going to want to stay there. If he's requesting a trade out of L.A., and he's from L.A., of course he's going to request a trade from the Grizzlies. So I don't see that working out. I don't know. Miami's aligning themselves to be able to get different guys. The Minnesota Timberwolves are aligning themselves to be able to get some different guys. We'll talk about a trade they made in just a second. I'm not sure where Ja's headed. I don't think the Grizzlies are sure where Ja's headed. I don't know if they even want to do this deal before the trade deadline on Thursday. I don't know if it benefits them to do this deal before the trade deadline on Thursday. But they've got options now, clearing up cap space, getting rid of Jaren Jackson Jr., picking up some more first-round picks. Grizzlies are going into full rebuild mode now after trading away pretty much their best player over the last couple of years, because Ja hasn't been playing like that. Best player on the team has been Jaren Jackson Jr. He's on his way out, headed to Utah. Jaden Ivey headed down to Chicago. Mike Conley also headed to Chicago. Kevin Huerter headed to the Detroit Pistons. This is a multi-team deal. If you're Minnesota, you get off the Mike Conley contract. Everyone knows they've been trying to get off the Mike Conley contract for years now. He doesn't even play that significant of a role as far as his play on the court over the last couple of years. So them getting rid of this is to, in my opinion, help them maybe get a Giannis. Now, I don't know if Giannis wants to go from Milwaukee to Minnesota, but Minnesota's in the running to go and get a Giannis. Maybe that puts them in the running to get a Ja Morant. They're just clearing some salary cap off of here. Jaden Ivey headed to Chicago. I like it. I like Jaden Ivey going to Chicago. He's a young guard for the Detroit Pistons. He's got some game, but, I mean, he's behind Cade Cunningham. It's that simple. You're not going to play in front of potentially the best point guard in the league. So he's headed to Chicago. Young team. Josh Giddey's down there as well. They've got Kobe White, but Kobe White is probably on his way out, especially after them seeing the news of them trading for Jaden Ivey as well. The Bulls are involved in some more trades. They send Nikola Vucevic to the Boston Celtics. Now, so far, this is my favorite trade of the day. Vucevic gives the Celtics what they need as far as post presence. We know Al Horford is gone, but he wasn't much of a post presence either. Kristaps Porzingis is gone as well. They were lacking that. They've been lacking that all year, and they're not that bad of a team. Everybody was thinking, oh, well, Tatum's going to be out. They won't be able to recover. Boston's not going to be that good this year. Boston's actually still one of the top teams. Jaylen Brown playing like one of the top players in the league. They're 31-18 right now. You go out and get a Vucevic who's a walking double-double. I'm happy for Vucevic. He finally gets out of Chicago. He's somehow been stuck there for the last 4 or 5 years after being stuck in Orlando for the first part of his career. He gets to Boston, gets a chance to be on a contender. The East is wide open. Even with Tatum being hurt, the East is wide open. Pacers won it last year. Pacers are the worst team in the East. Obviously, that's because Tyrese Halliburton is hurt. That just means that the East is wide open. Cleveland has been struggling Darius Garland's been out. There's been talks of potentially trading Darius Garland away. With Darius Garland being down, the Cavs have struggled. The Raptors and the Pistons kind of moved their way up into the rankings, two teams that didn't do much last year, but now in the top 5 in the Eastern Conference. If I had to pick anybody out of these top 6 teams, Detroit's 1, New York is 2, Boston at 3, Toronto 4, Cleveland 5, I probably have to go with Boston. If I'm looking at those 5, they probably had the best player out of those 5 teams, 6 teams. They still got depth. They still got Derek White out there. They still got other pieces on the Celtics. You add in Nikola Vucevic into this mix, man, I kind of like what the Celtics have going down there. And when Tatum gets back, Vucevic can be big for them as well. He's a guy that can stretch the floor, a guy that's a good rebounder, a guy that can actually post up and score. It's probably only a handful of those guys left in the league that can actually post up and score. Nikola Vucevic is one of those. So I like the trade. They send Anthony Simons, who they traded for in the offseason, traded Drew Holiday away to get Anthony Simons. That experiment hadn't worked out. He was up and down all season long. I get exactly why the Celtics are moving on from him. And Brad Stevens in that front office is they're not going to sit around and wait. If they feel like they've got a deal, they feel like they can make the team better, they're going to go ahead and do it right then and there, whether that be for the future or for the right now. They get one for the right now. James Harden requests a trade out of the Los Angeles Clippers. Now, it says that both parties are working together to try to find a trade. I just don't know what happened. The Clippers were one of the worst teams in the league. They started off terrible. They won almost 10 games in a row. Kawhi Leonard starts playing like an MVP. James Harden's averaging 20 and 10. They start winning games. They get rid of Chris Paul. They said Chris Paul was ruining their team. They get rid of Chris Paul. Things finally start to look slightly optimistic. They go from worst all the way to 9th in the Western Conference. And all of a sudden, James Harden asks for a trade. I don't know what to think about this. I can't defend James Harden anymore. I've said on here before, obviously I'm a James Harden fan. I'm a Rockets fan. So I was a Harden fan for years and years. But them requesting, if it's true that he requested a trade, now they could have come to him and said, hey, we're going to trade you, or where would you like to go? But this looks like James Harden has requested a trade. There's no defending this anymore. I don't even know what he wants to trade from. Do you want to go to a contender? Do you want to go somewhere you can get paid? I don't even know what he's looking for. Or is he just tired of being in L.A.? He's from L.A. I don't know what's going on. He wasn't happy in Brooklyn. He eventually ended up not being happy in Houston when he was in Houston. Went to the Sixers. Wasn't happy at the Sixers. Gets traded away from there. This is just he's a repeat offender as far as always asking for a trade off a team. Now, is he still putting up numbers? Absolutely. James Harden still is one of the best players in the league. People try to equate him asking for trades and making that be like, oh, he's not good or he's not this. Nothing to do with basketball. Dude is a monster playing basketball still right now. He's averaging 25, 5, and 8. Right now at 36 years old. So James Harden can help a lot of teams. I'm interested to see what type of team would want to trade for James Harden. I would think it could only be a team. What's the point of even trading for James Harden, knowing he's going to ask for a trade? A contender can trade for him and say, hey, we got you for, if nothing else, the rest of the season. Let's go for it. Let's try to go and win. But I don't know who would trade for James Harden as of right now. I've seen the Lakers be one, but I don't think he's going to leave the Clippers just to go to the Lakers, and that doesn't help the Lakers at all. I've even thought about the idea of him with my Houston Rockets coming back to the Rockets as a homecoming. I don't know how Udoka feels about that, but the Rockets have point guard issues. We've got point guard issues. It's just simple as that. We tried the experiment of Amen Thompson running the point. He's a good player. I just don't know if he's a point guard. He's not going to get everybody else involved. He's not going to fully run an offense. Great player, future All-Star, the future of the Rockets, but he's just not a point guard. Reed Shepherd, same thing. Great player, can score with the best of them, can shoot with anybody in the league, but he's not a facilitator. They tried to run the offense through Şengün like everyone calls him Baby Jokic. But that hasn't worked out. I'm not sure where James Harden goes. I can see him going to the Rockets, but it has to be a contender. Has to be a contender. The Warriors, maybe. I'm done with the Warriors, man. I don't think the Warriors are serious about winning basketball games. With this whole Kuminga situation, everything that's happened there, all the stuff that's happened with Draymond, Jimmy Butler's injury. I don't think the Warriors are even serious about winning games, so I don't see them trading for him. I don't know where James Harden lands from here, but requesting a trade out of the Clippers, not having any destination to really go to, not knowing what your value is on the market. We know what your value is on the court, but you're 36 years old and you ask for a trade every 6 months. So I don't know what James Harden's value ends up being. It's still going on in the Giannis saga. They have not found a home for Giannis yet. They don't know if they're going to trade Giannis this year or not. The trade deadline is Thursday. You know, by now people thought Giannis would have been on another team, or maybe some teams would have made offers. I think teams have made offers. I just don't think the Bucks have gone forward with any of these offers yet, probably because they haven't got what they want. I mean, people are getting hauls for players now. Jaren Jackson Jr. just got traded for 3 first-round picks. So what is Giannis worth? 6 first-round picks? 3 or 4 players to go along with it? I'm sure that's what along the lines of what the Bucks are asking for. 4 first-round picks probably, and a couple of players maybe, and somebody to build their future around. Because like OKC, as I was talking about earlier, like the Grizzlies I was talking about earlier, no free agent is coming to Milwaukee. All you can do is build through the draft. You're not going to get any top-of-the-line free agent. When Cooper Flagg's a free agent in 6 years, he's not going to choose the Bucks. So the only thing you can do is build the star that they can build around as well. Who is that young star that they can build around as well? That's the question. The teams, the 4 franchises that have emerged as serious contenders for Giannis: Golden State Warriors, New York Knicks, Miami Heat, and the Minnesota Timberwolves. When I look at that list, there's only one of those teams that makes sense, and that's the New York Knicks. The only thing is, who do they give up? They've mortgaged so much of their future to get the roster they have right now. They traded away picks for OG Anunoby. They traded away 4 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges, which was nuts. Still have no idea why they did that. They traded away picks to get Karl Anthony Towns. I'm sure Giannis would love to go to New York. But do they have enough to trade? Who do you give up? Do you give up Cat? I would do that, but I don't know if that's the direction the Knicks are thinking about going in. They just went and traded for Cat. And then do the Bucks want Cat? Cat is 30 now, I believe, or got to be close to 30. I'm pretty sure he's 30. Do the Milwaukee Bucks even want that? I don't think so. So Giannis has a few different teams he could go to. Obviously, we'll be checking in to see, does any of these things come true? Do any of these teams actually try to make that reach for Giannis? I don't see anybody that has enough, honestly, right now. I think Giannis might be on Milwaukee until the summer. And then they find a trade suitor. But as of right now, I don't see who has enough out of those 4 teams that they say are contenders. Now, a team that does have enough is the Oklahoma City Thunder. But thank God they don't want to break up that team to get Giannis, because that would just be a cheat code. But they have enough. They still got 12 first-round picks over the next 7 years, I believe. They still got young stars they could trade. They could trade a J-Dub. They could trade a Chet Holmgren and get a Giannis. So hopefully that doesn't happen. But we'll see if Giannis decides to go anywhere. The NBA All-Star reserves have been announced. Eastern Conference All-Star. I'll start with the Western Conference. The All-Star reserves for the West feature LeBron James, who will be coming off the bench and be an All-Star reserve for the first time in the All-Star game in 22 years. Since his rookie year, or since the second year when he made the All-Star team. He started every single year after that for the next 22 years. He'll be coming off the bench for the first time. He'll be joined by Kevin Durant, who's a 12-time All-Star or a 16-time All-Star. Devin Booker also joins them as well. Anthony Edwards, Jamal Murray, Chet Holmgren, and Denny Adva. I like the Western Conference. I think they got theirs right for the most part as far as who made it and who didn't. I was kind of shocked to see Kawhi didn't make it. But I don't know who I take off that list. I get why they put Chet Holmgren in there, because he's on the Thunder. When you're on the Thunder, when you're on the top team in the conference, you got to get at least 2 All-Stars. So I get why Chet's in there. You can't take off Anthony Edwards. Can't take off D-Book. Jamal Murray has been balling crazy since the Jokic injury. So the West, I think they just ran out of spots. But Kawhi or James Harden could have easily got one of those spots. Now the East is another story. The East, I feel like they just threw some guys in here. For the Eastern Conference, we got Jalen Duren from the Pistons, Donovan Mitchell, Norman Powell, Scotty Barnes, Jalen Johnson, Karl Anthony Towns, and Pascal Siakam. I think the East got it completely wrong. Why? I don't see why LaMelo Ball's not in there. And I get you're going to, oh, man, their record, they're terrible. The Hornets are terrible. Yes, they are terrible. And they're going to keep being terrible. But with LaMelo Ball putting up numbers, top 5 guy in assist, he could have made it. He's averaging 19 points a game. Yeah, they're on a terrible team. But guess who's on the worst team? Pascal Siakam. He's 20th in scoring. Yeah, he's averaging 23, but it's not like he's just a top 5 scorer on a bad team. He's 20th. And his team is in last place in a super weak Eastern Conference. How in the world does Pascal Siakam make it? I have no idea. Norman Powell from the Miami Heat. I get it. Norman's been hooping. He really should have made it last year. He's averaging 23 points. But I feel like there's other guys in the East that could have made it over him. Michael Porter Jr. could have made it in there. Brandon Ingram, who's on the top 5 seeded team, could have made it in there along with Scotty Barnes. And then the Jalen Durham one, I get it. The Pistons are the number 1 seed. When you're the number 1 seed, as I said with Chet earlier, you got to get at least 2 guys in, so they had to put Jalen Durham in there. Jalen Johnson has been hooping, man. I have no problem with Jalen Johnson making it. It's really just mainly the Pascal Siakam one is very strange to me. I feel like there were some other guys that could have got that spot that were pretty deserving of that spot. Like I said, the Brandon Ingram being on the top 5 team in there as well. I thought he could have made it. Michael Porter Jr. has been hooping. He's 12th in the league in scoring. He's averaging 26 points a game. I think he could have did it even though he's on the Nets, and the Nets are terrible. But for the most part, I think they got most of these right. I don't know how the format is going to go. The format is ugly. They're going to be 3 different teams, 2 USA teams, 1 world team as well, with Jokic and SGA, Luka, and all these guys on it. I don't know how the format is going to work, really. They're trying something new every single year because they have no idea what to do in the All-Star game at this point. They've tried different things to try to get viewership to go up, to try to make the game better. The game is just not that good. I'm not going to say it's as bad as the Pro Bowl. The Pro Bowl is as bad as ever. There's no All-Star game in any league is worse than the Pro Bowl. Pro Bowl is absolutely horrible. I don't know how they fix it, but they need to fix it. Not necessarily as much as the game for me. It's the entire weekend. There's nothing to just look forward to like that on the weekend like it used to be. The dunk contest, man, we get to watch Dwight and Nate Robinson, and a couple years later we get to Zach LaVines and Aaron Gordon. Before that we had people like Gerald Green and Jason Richardson and all these different guys in the dunk contest. See if I can find the dunk contest participants this year. But the dunk contest is nothing to look forward to. Obviously, it's terrible. Jalen Duren is in the dunk contest. This is the list of people so far for the dunk contest. Jalen Duren from the Pistons. Jackson Hayes from the Lakers. Carter Bryant, the rookie, from the Spurs. Those are the 3 participants. I think they're going to get 1 more to be in the dunk contest. This is going to be the weakest dunk contest I've ever seen in my life. Duren is not only an in-game dunker. I haven't seen Duren do anything crazy ever. He's just a big guy. They're going to go out here and do a bunch of 2-hand dunks. They're going to hang on the rim and try to see does that get extra points. Jackson Hayes can jump out the gym, but come on, bro. For a dunk contest? Carter Bryant? I don't even know what he can do. He barely plays. We don't know if he's that athletic. Y'all got somebody in the Spurs practice saying, nah, man, this dude is super athletic. We don't know what he can do. Man, this dunk contest is going to be so weak. Every year is weak. I think they need to just let the YouTube dunkers come on and do some dunks or something, bro. Because the dunk contest is terrible. They've got to do something to fix the dunk contest. They're trying. At least they're trying with the All-Star game. I'm not sure if they're going to get it right. Hopefully, with people playing for a USA-type team, it makes you play a little bit harder. But I don't even know if that's going to work for the NBA. But there's a lot going on in the NBA. We'll talk some more about I'll talk about some of the games that's coming on tonight as we get towards the end of the show. Let's talk about a little bit of local sports here. Let's talk about some MCC basketball. MCC, the men's team was able to come out with the victory yesterday, taking on Collin College, probably one of their toughest opponents in the conference. They're off to a 21-1 start under the leadership of Coach Kevin Gill. They're on a 14-game winning streak. 14-game winning streak. They're 14-0 at home, 5-1 on the road. Man, this team has been playing phenomenal basketball all year. They've moved up in the rankings. They're 21. They weren't ranked for a majority of the season. Finally get the nod. and they're ranked the number 21 team in the nation now. MCC is off to a great start, man. I love the way that this team has played. Coach Gillis is off to another great start. He's doing a great job with this team. They've got depth on this team. They've got different guys they can put in for different situations. They got multiple guys averaging double digits. The Joseph been on a scoring tear, especially since conference play has started. He was already playing some good ball, but since conference play has started, he's had an uptick in his game. He's been playing great. He's averaging 18 points a game. The last few games, he's really showed out and has really been a standout for the MCC Highlanders. Man, they've just got to score. They got to score. They found their go-to guy in Amari Banks. And the thing about his game is he can come out and get started early. That's the best part I've seen about Amari Banks' game, especially in these last few games. In their game against Colin, he was able to come out, score the ball. The game before that against Temple, he had 29 points. The game before that against Hill, he had 23 points. He's been playing phenomenal. He's really stepped his play up since conference has started. Joseph Mayberry has also stepped his game up. Timmy has been kind of the newcomer of the year for these guys. Everybody sees the highlight dunks, and we'll be putting out some more of his highlight dunks. But he has played some really, really good basketball, especially since the start of conference play. Since conference has started, he's averaging 13 points a game, coming off the bench. Averaging 13 points a game, shooting a super high percentage from the field, shooting 66% from the field. Most of his points come from around the rim. They've got shot blockers. Max Blank has been playing well off the bench as well. Joe Burgess has been rebounding the ball well. This is a pretty complete MCC team. They won conference last year. I definitely think they're off to another start of winning conference. Colin, I think, was probably the second best team in this conference. Now, they got a real test. They got to go to Southwestern tomorrow to play against those guys at Southwestern Ontario. We've made that trip multiple times. I've made that trip multiple times. That's not an easy place to play. It's kind of an AAU type of environment, an old school type of environment. It's not a lot of room in the gym. Sometimes the gym is hot. It's dudes standing on the sideline by the court. People come out. I mean, it's not a lot of things to do in Terrell, Texas. So people come out. They always have a pretty decent crowd every time we go up there and do one of their games. So it's going to be a loud environment, a ruckus environment. And Southwestern's got a team, man. They've beat some of the upper teams in the conference already this year. MCC already getting through their first run of conference. They're getting ready to replay everybody again for their last time. And after seeing just about all the teams, I could see MCC easily going undefeated in conference. I don't want to say easily like it's easy to do. What Coach Gill and what these guys are doing is definitely hard to do. But the way that they've gone through conference, I mean, Colin was one of the better teams, if not the second best team in the conference. They beat them by 20 last night. They beat them by 20 on the road. So they get a chance to play these guys can do in region. Last year they got all the way to the region final and lost against a loaded South Plains team that featured guys that are all playing D1 basketball somewhere right now. I think they had 5 of the top 30 picks, or 5 of the top 30 recruits in JUCO on that team, and they narrowly lost that game last year. So I'm interested to see what can they do against those guys, against the Midlands, against the Odessas as they get into region play as well. I think these guys can match up well with just about anybody. They've got not only conference championship aspirations, these guys are ready to go to the tournament and compete. I think Coach Gill has found his rotations. He knows what guys he can put in different situations. MCC is rolling, man. They're off to a great start, 21-1. They'll be in action tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Make sure you guys tune in for that. The men will be in action at 7 o'clock. The women's team will be in action at 5 o'clock. Talk about the women's team a little bit. They fell short yesterday in that game versus Colin. Colin, one of the better teams, not only in the conference but in the nation. They're ranked number 22 in the nation, probably going to move up after beating the MCC. MCC loses 2 in a row for the first time all year long. They'll go out tomorrow and they'll get a win versus Southwestern. They have I don't have any reservations about that. And then they start over again in conference play. The women have a gauntlet going to the conference. Weatherford's got a good team. Grayson's got a good team who they lost to earlier. Collins got a good team. Hill is always a competitive game. Temple, who they just lost to, has got a pretty good team as well. The women will bounce back. Yeah, they lost 2 in a row. I think they'll get it back together. The freeze kind of threw everybody off as far as practice schedules, everything. There's so many different things that go into it. Coach Thomas has done a phenomenal job keeping this team engaged, keeping this team going. I think they're going to go on a run as we go through this back half of conference. They'll win tomorrow versus Southwestern. I can see MCC running off their last 7-8 games of the season and taking that momentum and carrying that momentum into the regional tournament that they won last year for the first time in 30 or 40 years, I believe. These are still the reigning regional champs. So until somebody knocks them off that throne, they'll remain the regional champs. I think they have a great chance of keeping that throne throughout region. They've got tough teams. New Mexico is always a really tough team to be able to play against. South Plains, who they played earlier this year, has got a really tough team as well. MCC is right there with any of those teams, man. I got faith in the girls and what I've seen from them so far this year. But they are off to another great start as well. As I said, we've got more MCC softball starting this weekend. They'll be playing on Thursday. Something to watch while you're at work on Thursday. Tune in right here to Centex Sports Network. They'll be playing at 9 o'clock. Also on Thursday, they'll play at 4:30. On Friday, they'll play at 10 o'clock against Indian Hills Community College and at 12:30 against Southeastern Community College. And Saturday, they'll wrap it up with the 9 o'clock game, and they'll play once again at 4:30. So a full weekend for the softball team. The baseball team, the Bosque Boys, will be starting their season and their campaign this weekend, opening up right here at MCC. They'll be playing against New Mexico Junior College, so that should definitely be a really good game. They'll play at 4 o'clock on Friday, full 9-inning game. And on Saturday, they'll play a doubleheader versus Iowa Western. Or they'll play one game versus Iowa Western on Saturday. Sunday at 1 o'clock, they'll play against Iowa Western again. So MCC baseball starting their season this weekend. MCC softball, their second week into the season, their second tournament. That'll start on Thursday at 9 a.m. So make sure you guys are tuning in and getting ready for that. Hey, folks, we're about to go into a quick break. When we come back, we'll get to our show close. We'll talk about the Super Bowl. I'll give out my picks and my predictions on what's going to happen in the Super Bowl. And, of course, we'll talk about some quick takes and what's going on around the world of sports before we get out of here today. Stay tuned and stay locked in right here on Centex Primetime. We'll be right back.
I mean, just to walk in here and see all these fans supporting us is unreal.
That's all you try to do is go out there and focus and do your job and just keep making one pitch at a time.
We on our way to the top, yeah, yeah, yeah. We on our way to the top, yeah, yeah, yeah. They gotta sit back and watch, yeah, yeah, yeah. We on our way to the, we on our way to the, yeah. We on our way to the top.
Look, make sure you mention my name with the greats. Whole lot of talk, but it ain't no debate. We light it up like we causing an accident. But it ain't no mistake. Seated at the table, I carry the weight. They want the beef, so we hide the steaks. Bust in the kitchen and fire the chef.
We on our way to the top, yeah, yeah, yeah. We on our way to the.
We can't be the guys that's gonna be timid and not knowing what's going on. You play hard, you play together. I mean, that's all we ask.
This is what we all have to do.
Be locked in, focus, just be disciplined, all right?
Now I feel like Kyrie, I'ma have to take the shot. If they tryna call me dog, I gotta hit money. That's why I don't ever stop. I got my bad hoodie with a rollie on. Eating pasta like Corleone. I don't got time for no fake boy. If you got the money, gon' show me some. I got 2 whips and I'm self-paid. Never got help, bro, I'm self-made. Started from the bottom, but we made it to the top. And I told them time is money. That's why I don't ever stop. Hey, what up, say? In the studio, said I'm locked in. My stock going way up, I got options. Yeah, they fine, but stop playing, you not him. Wait, the numbers going up.
You got 8 seconds to prove you're worth the price of admission. And you got Baylor Scott and White Health along for the ride. So square up. You got this.
MCC has definitely benefited me most on not only what I want to do, but who I aspire to be. Expect every professor to help you become who you want to be and more. Create your own success at MCC.
RJ's Bargain Center is your home team for appliances at unbeatable prices. From refrigerators to washers, dryers to stoves, you'll find brand new appliances with huge discounts. And just like your favorite local teams, RJ's is proud to support our community and local sports. Score your savings today at RJ's Bargain Center, 711 Lynn Street, Waco. Call 254-224-6178. RJ's Bargain Center, where big savings are always a home run.
Son, all your car needs now is a stereo system. Now I know just the spot to go get it. Man, Jack Stereo.
Oh yeah, they're the best. How'd you know about that place?
Bro, that's where my dad took me.
Oh, that's cool.
And I'm the coolest cat on the block.
Oh my God.
Need a new audio system for your new ride? Jack Stereo has been selling the best stereos and equipment for generations after generations. Come visit your local store today. Those in the know, go to Jack Stereo. Waco, Temple, Killeen.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back into Centex Primetime. Jalen, Gillis still here in the final minutes of the show here today. Hey, we want to thank everybody for tuning in with us. As I spoke about before the commercial break, plenty of MCC sports coming on this week. Make sure you guys getting ready to tune in for that. Follow, like, share, subscribe, all right here on Centex Sports Network. Just got done wrapping up talking about the NBA and their trade deadline, all the moves that have been made, the moves that will be. You can go back to the beginning of the show and watch that as well. Let's talk about some football now, folks. The Super Bowl is this week. Can't wait to be able to watch it tonight. I believe is going to be the Pro Bowl games. I don't even know what they do for the Pro Bowl anymore. I think they play flag football. I've seen dodgeball clips and stuff. I don't know what's going on. I won't be watching the Pro Bowl tonight. Needless to say, I don't even know what happens in the Pro Bowl. Well, let's talk some football. Super Bowl is this week. We'll talk about the game in a second. The breaking news that came out this morning, Robert Kraft will not be inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame as an owner on his first go around. Will not be a first ballot Hall of Famer. And I get it to a certain extent. Robert Kraft, this ties in along with the Bill Belichick, who also did not make it as a first ballot Hall of Famer. Yeah, they got the Spygate stuff. They got the Deflategate stuff. I don't know who comes up with these names either. But they got the Spygate, they got the Deflategate, all the gates. But you cannot deny 6 Super Bowl championships. There's nothing you can do with that. You can try to say, man, he didn't do this. He wasn't this guy. He wasn't doing it. For Robert Kraft to not make it, I think it's crazy. But you know what? Oh, well, because he might get another ring this weekend. But for Bill Belichick to not make the Pro Football Hall of Fame on his first ballot entry is absolutely insane. Bill Belichick could easily be considered the best NFL coach of all time. Easily. This is an 8-time Super Bowl winner, 2 as a defensive coordinator, with one of the best defenses of all time, with Lawrence Taylor and all those guys in the New York Giants. Goes to the Patriots. Whether you want to say it was Brady or if it was Belichick, whoever, they both got 6 of them things. For Bill Belichick to not make it is crazy. Who are these voters? The voters got to come out. Now that Robert Kraft didn't make it on his first one, Bill Belichick, who are these people? Who are these voters? Let's put y'all stats up. Since we judging all these guys on the stats, let's put y'all stats up. Not football stats. Let's put your stats up of who did you vote for if Bill Belichick is not getting in. Who did you vote for as an owner if Robert Kraft is not getting in? Are there going to be any other owners that are eligible to be in the Hall of Fame in the next 10 years that are going to have 6 Super Bowls? Are there going to be any coaches ever for the next however long football is going until they finally cancel football 30, 40 years from now? Until they finally throw it away because that's eligible to go into the Hall of Fame with 8 Super Bowls. No. What are we doing, man? Let's get these old dudes off of these voting committees. We can't have nobody on the voting committee that brings up Otto Graham. Nobody on the voting committee that talks about anybody from the squishy helmet time. We got to get these dudes off. It's time for a change. We got to somehow filter these guys out. I don't think there should be a lifetime role as a Super Bowl voter or as a Hall of Fame voter. You shouldn't have a lifetime role. This is not the Supreme Court justice. Get these dudes off of here. If Bill is not making it because of what, he didn't talk to you? I've heard reports coming out saying, oh, Bill was never friendly with the media. Man, what does that got to do with getting into the Hall of Fame? See, y'all did it to T.O., and y'all didn't have this outrage y'all had with Bill Belichick. Everyone wants to be mad now. Y'all didn't do this with T.O., and T.O. is just as qualified as far as being a first ballot Hall of Famer. He didn't get in until his very last attempt of making the Hall of Fame when they finally let him in. You seeing how they do Bill Belichick now. Are y'all going to do this with Tom Brady because he deflated some footballs? The GOAT? Y'all going to do that to the GOAT? I know they're not going to do that to Tom, so I ain't even going to bring that up. I've seen everybody say they better not do this to Tom. They're not doing that to Tom Brady. They letting Tom Brady cheat right now in front of our face. That man is an owner and works for Fox. He's cheating in front of our face, and they not saying nothing. So they definitely not going to stop him from getting into the Hall of Fame. But to not let Bill in is crazy because y'all got some old beef from the 40s, from the 60s. You want to bring up the good old days and compare him to who? It's ridiculous, man. Let's get rid of everybody since y'all don't want to ante up. Y'all don't want to tell us who you voted for, and y'all don't want to say who did it. Who was the guy that made him not get in? How about we just switch everybody out? Make it easy. Everybody get out. When you're a kid and nobody tells what happens, and the adults come in and nobody says nothing, everybody getting whooped. When you're an adult and nobody wants to tell who this whatever is in the car, well, guess what? Everybody going to jail then. Let's do the same thing with the Pro Football Hall of Fame. The voters don't want to ante up. They don't want to say who voted for who. Cool. Let's switch everybody out. We got to get all the gray hairs, got to get off of the voting committee. Football don't look the same to you that it look to the football you're used to seeing. This ain't Johnny Unitas and them playing. You got to get off the voting committee, bro. And especially if you've been there for 20-something years, I don't even know who it is. But when you look, I'm not saying everybody has to be young on the committee. I'm saying them dudes is old, them dudes that didn't drive themselves to the meeting can't vote no more. Get them out of here. Bill Belichick is not a Hall of Famer. No coach can ever make the Hall of Fame. It's that simple. There's not going to be any more coaches coming up in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, at least in my lifetime, that's going to have more credentials than Bill Belichick. So come on, man. This is nonsense. This is nonsense. Get these old guys off of the voting committee. Let's talk about the game. The Super Bowl is finally here. You know the NFL makes you wait. Got to wait a week. I did get a chance to watch the Grammys, though, in between. That was cool. Getting, I guess, a break in between on the last day. They finally took the Pro Bowl off of Sunday because they knew nobody was going to watch it at the same time as the Grammys. Bad Bunny performing at the Super Bowl. He just won a Grammy as well. Won a couple Grammys, I think, for his album. I don't know any of his music, but I mean, I don't care. I've seen the people, why is Bad Bunny performing at the something, something, something? Come on, bro. Who do y'all want to see at the Super Bowl? The Beach Boys? The Red Hot Chili Peppers? Come on, man. Let Bad Bunny perform out there. He got more fans than anybody you can name as an international superstar. Shout out to him for just winning that Grammy. We'll see him again at the Super Bowl. Let's talk about the game, man. Both of these teams coming in 14-3 record. Both of these teams, no one expected to be here. So let's not lie. Let's everybody keep it a buck. Nobody picked Seattle versus New England. Before the season, nobody picked Seattle versus New England. When the playoffs started, nobody picked those matchups. But we're here. And I feel like it's honestly by circumstance, like it is every year. There's always a woulda, coulda, shoulda, coulda, woulda with each and every Super Bowl run. Right now, the Seahawks are favored in this game by 4.5 points. They'll be playing in Santa Clara, so they'll be a little bit close. They'll be closer to Seattle than they will be to New England. So I'm sure the Seattle faithful will definitely be in the building. Seattle's favored by 4.5. My pick is I'm going to take Seattle on that 4.5. I'm going to take them on the points, and I'm going to take them to win the game as well. I like Seattle in this game for a multitude of reasons. I think Seattle has actually had a true test on their way here to the Super Bowl. Not saying the Patriots didn't beat anybody, because that would mean I'm implicating my Texans as a nobody. All I'm saying is Seattle Seahawks went through a gauntlet. They played in probably the best division in football this year in the NFC West. They came out on top. They came out as the champs of the NFC, had the best record in the NFC, was the number 1 seed. They destroyed the 49ers in the first round of the playoff, or in the divisional round. They play against the Rams, back and forth game, but they come out with the win. A game that probably would have been over with if Tariq Woolen didn't do what he did. But they end up winning the game. I'm still not just a crazy believer in Sam Darnold. But what I seen from Sam Darnold in that game against the Rams, he made the plays that needed to be made. 346 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. If you can do that in the biggest game against a team like the Rams, and I think the Patriots have a better roster than the Rams top to bottom, but it's hard to beat Sean McVay. It's hard to beat Matt Stafford. It's hard to beat Devontae Adams. They have true star power guys that are heading into the Hall of Fame. If you can get past those guys, I definitely think it's a much tougher path than the New England Patriots got to get here. Who did the New England Patriots beat on their way to the Super Bowl? Well, in the first round of the playoffs, they played the Chargers, beat them 16-3. That's a decent win, but I didn't think much of the Chargers. I don't think many people thought much of the Chargers. They take out my Texans in a bad weather game where C.J. Stroud throws 4 picks. How don't you win a game where the other quarterback throws 4 picks? Did Drake May do a lot in that game? No, but he didn't need to. He started with a short field every time. They did what they needed to do. Then you head into the AFC Championship against a really good defense. You played the 2 best defenses in the league back-to-back. I'll give you credit for that. But Drake May didn't do much. I guess he didn't have to do much. They had a snowstorm that came in. They're playing against a backup quarterback in Jarrett Stidham. Shout out to Stidham, man, the Central Texas guy, but come on now. We don't see Stidham as a quarterback that you fear going into the AFC Championship. Drake May in that game threw for 86 yards, 10 for 21. Didn't do much. This is going to be a matchup of styles. The Seattle Seahawks have a good defense, but their offense can go. New England Patriots have a good offense, but their defense can really go. That's the one thing I do like about this Super Bowl. We get to see good on good, best against best. This New England Patriots defense versus this Seattle Seahawks offense. Seattle, Jackson Smith and Jigba has had a phenomenal season. Almost caught for 2,000 yards this year. Goes crazy against the Rams in the NFC Championship game. We get to see him against Christian Gonzalez, who's a top 3 corner in the league, in my opinion. Pat Surtain, Derek Stingley, and I would probably put Christian Gonzalez right there. You get to see best on best. I still got to go with Seattle in this game, though. I think their offense can be a little bit better than this New England Patriots defense. I don't think that New England Patriots offense can be that much better versus the Rams. Yeah, they gave up a lot of yards. Versus the Patriots. Yeah, they gave up a lot of yards. The Seahawks gave up a lot of yards in that NFC Championship game, but they're playing Matt Stafford and Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua. That's a completely different monster than what they're getting ready to go against in the New England Patriots. Drake May has had a good season. I'm not saying that. Drake May played like an all-pro this year. But that offense isn't the same as this Rams offense. I don't know if New England's offense can keep up with Seattle's. It's just that simple. I think Seattle's offense, they got a deep threat in Rashid Shaheed. They've got a true number 1 receiver in Jackson Smith and Jigba, who has definitely proved that. They got a Super Bowl winner in Cooper Kupp, Super Bowl MVP in Cooper Kupp. That's going to be able to step up in these big moments. They got a defense that's physical. You got the Devin Witherspoons. You got the Nick Emanwari, who's the second coming of Cam Chancellor, in my opinion. Guy that can guard tight ends, receivers, running backs, a guy that you can sit on the blitz, a guy that you can put in the slot. He's a do-it-all guy. They got Leonard Williams rushing the passer as well. Will Campbell has been getting destroyed pretty much all playoffs long. I think that continues. I'll take Seattle narrowly in this one, man. I like the matchup between these two teams. I think that Drake May has some things he can do against the Seattle defense. I think that Josh McDaniels has some things. They've got a veteran coaching staff over there in New England with Mike Vrabel, with Josh McDaniels, some of the better game planners in the league. I just got to go with Seattle in this one. And I don't have no dog in the fight. My team been at home. Texans been at home. I'm not a fan of the Patriots. I'm not a fan of the Seahawks. So I don't have any dog in the fight. This will just be me straight up just watching. Now, obviously, once you put a couple picks together on a parlay or something, then you start watching a little bit different. But as far as just watching the game, I like the matchups, man. I'm ready to see it. I'm ready to see what these two teams can do. And I'm ready to see what the Patriots look like in regular weather and great conditions playing in Santa Clara instead of playing in snow the last couple of weeks, the last couple of times that we've seen them. Excited to see what this Patriots team can do. Excited to see what this Seattle team can do. I'm ready to see, can Sam Darnold have the ultimate redemption story? I mean, I guess we thought Kurt Warner was kind of the ultimate redemption story, but if Sam Darnold wins, it's not going to be too many more redemption stories better than that. The New York Jets threw this guy away. He was considered a bust in a loaded QB class with Baker Mayfield, with Josh Allen, with Lamar Jackson. He was considered to be the main bust out of that group. And it turns out that people are good at football that just leave the Jets. Similar to a Geno Smith. Shout out to the former Baylor quarterback, man. It could maybe he was good and he was just on the Jets. Bryce Petty. I don't know. I just know if you play for the Jets and you play quarterback, it's not going to go good for you. That's why Dante Moore went back to college. He said, man, I would rather go to English class than go play for the Jets. I'd rather have to come back here, take some more dumb courses, play for Oregon again another season, don't win another championship, if that means I don't have to go play for the New York Jets, and I don't blame him. Nobody will want to go play there. Sam Darnold's going to have one of the best, if not the best, redemption story. You see what he was able to do, get kicked off of multiple teams, head to the Vikings, get placed as a backup behind a rookie that sucks in J.J. McCarthy. I think we've got enough evidence. Some people say it's too early. J.J. McCarthy's not that good, y'all. He wasn't that good in Michigan. Hasn't been good in the NFL at all. You get placed behind that guy just for him to get injured. You come in, win 14 games, and the team is saying, hey, we're good. We'll move on. We'll let the rookie play that can't play. Go to Seattle. Took I want to say a pay cut, but in comparison to some of these other quarterback contracts, almost a pay cut. A cheap deal, a team-friendly deal heading to Seattle. And these guys go to the Super Bowl the next year, man. Great story. On the Patriots side, Mike Vrabel, you take over in 1 year, and you completely flip this roster top to bottom. You bring in the Stephon Diggs. You bring in the Milton Williams. You draft the right guys. You draft the Travion Hendersons. You draft the Will Campbells. You draft the Kyle Williams and these different guys. Both teams have really, really good stories. I got the Seahawks, though. I'm not telling you to follow my bets, but if I had to put my money on it, which I'm not, I'm going with the Seattle Seahawks in this game. They're favored by 4.5. I'd take them on that 4.5 points right now. It might go up. It opened up at 3.5, and it's already up to 4, so it might go up before we get to Sunday. So if you're going to make your picks, get them in early. Later in the week, I'll give out some of the picks I like as far as prop bets, some over-unders that I think are pretty good to see as well. Let's do some quick takes here before we get off the show here today. A couple of quick takes, some things going on around the world of sports. There's been a lot of talk about, is this the best freshman class in college basketball history? And I think it's right up there with any of them. When you look at A.J. DeBanster, when you look at Darren Peterson, who, man, this guy's getting better and better every week, in my opinion. Every week we watch Kansas play. Darren Peterson is looking more and more like a number one, man. He's got more potential. He can score the ball. He's got pretty good footwork to be a young guy, uber athletic, probably the highest ceiling out of any of the guys in the freshman class. But watching Darren Peterson play is watching a pro play. It's like if you took a pro and put him back in college, and what would it look like? When they're down by 3 with a minute left to go, yesterday versus Tech, comes out, hits a 3, gets a stop on the other side, gets the ball back, hits another 3. I'm like, man, come on. This is the best player in the country. With Darren Peterson, A.J. DeBonsta, Cam Boozer, who's playing phenomenal, who's actually having a better season than what Cooper Flagg had last year. And, Cooper Flagg's the wonder boy, so they're going to talk about it more. But Cam Boozer averaging 24 points a game for Duke. Duke's one of the top teams. Caleb Wilson, who's phenomenal, who got this North Carolina team playing well. Watched them destroy Syracuse yesterday. And then Koa Pete out there at Arizona. This could be one of the best freshman classes. It's too early to tell. It's too early. Only time will tell. But when you look at A.J. DeBonsta, the Darren Peterson, Cam Boozer, Caleb Wilson, all those guys being right there. Didn't even mention Cam Fleming at U of H. Man, this is one of the most talented freshman classes, I think, in a long time in college basketball. Every night is must-watch TV when one of these guys are playing. Cam Boozer is playing right now against Boston College, so I'll be tuning into that a little bit later. But anytime any of these guys are playing, I'll definitely be tuned in to watch and see what they have going on. Darian Mensah headed to Miami finally. There was all the news that he was getting sued by Duke because he signed a 2-year deal and he wanted to leave. We've seen all the things that Miami threw out at him. They said they give you $10 million. They will pay out his contract with Duke. They said they will give his sister, who's playing soccer at Oregon, a full ride scholarship to the other side of the country to come to Miami as well. And they will give him a deal with Adidas if he came down to sign. I don't know if all those things are going to happen, but Darian Mensah has made a lot of money. The guy that came in as a true freshman at Tulane, played right away, had a great season. Tulane had a great season. Transfers to Duke, gets a super bag. They gave him $8 million. Now he's transferring to Miami. They're going to pay out that contract that they owe with pay out that contract that he owes with Duke. Give him a new contract and get him a contract on top of this with Adidas. I don't even know if Darian Mensah is going to be that good in the NFL, if he'll even get to the NFL. At this point, it don't matter. If he puts the money up, it don't even matter what he puts it into. You don't even got to spend the money. Take some of the money, spend it, put the other in a Roth, put it in a whatever you want to put it into. Put it into an index. He's set. If he's smart, which I think he's a smart kid, the amount of money he's made, he doesn't need the NFL. If he goes, it's cool. If he goes and it doesn't work out, that's cool. He's paid up, man. Shout out Darian Mensah. He has gotten a lot of bread over the last couple of years. He'll be headed to Miami to try to replicate what Miami has done the last couple of years. They had Cam Ward. They were ranked high. He goes number 1. They get Carson Beck. They were ranked high to go all the way to the championship game and lose. And I'm sure Carson Beck is going to get drafted by somebody this year. So shout out Darian Mensah. He's following the right path, and that is to the bank. That's the path that he's on right now. Shakur Stevenson gets a win over Teofimo Lopez this past weekend. I couldn't find anybody that wanted to bet some money, man. I don't know who in the world thought Teofimo was going to be Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson is the next guy in boxing. Terrence Crawford's retired. Devin Haney's a joke. Teofimo Lopez wasn't up there for it anymore. We don't know what's going on with Tank. He keeps going in and out of jail. Tank has been the face. He had the tie with Lamont Roach. I think that's a fight that he actually lost, so they gave him a tie. And now with all the legal troubles he has, man, Shakur Stevenson is next. Shakur Stevenson is the next premier fighter. He fought at 140. I'd love to see him at, 140, 147 eventually. But, man, Shakur is that guy. I don't know who his next fight is going to be. He was arguing with, I can't remember the guy's name after the fight. I don't even know who's left in boxing. Devin Haney's never going to fight him. There's a couple of guys at 135 that you could fight. Tank, maybe. I don't know if Tank is boxing anymore. He said he's retired. Then he said he's coming out and training for a fight. Then he goes to jail. I don't know what Tank's doing. Maybe Lamont Roach, who had that fight with Tank. I don't know who his next fight is, but Shakur Stevenson is the next face of boxing, man. Shakur Stevenson, I've been a super fan of his for years now, all the way when he was fighting back on Top Ranked on a random Wednesday night or a random Friday night, those fights that nobody would really ever pay attention to. Shakur Stevenson has been dominant in the sport, and I think he's the next face of boxing. Todd Monken in his intro press conference says, talking about Jim Schwartz and then talking about the Cleveland Browns as well. We know he's the former offensive coordinator of the Baltimore Ravens, now the head coach of the Cleveland Browns. Said, when I was preparing for the Cleveland Browns, I wasn't trying to chip Jim Schwartz. I was trying to chip Myles Garrett throughout the game, saying they were talking about Jim Schwartz's impact in that defense and who he's going to bring in. I don't know who he's going to bring in as a defensive coordinator to go out there with him. But I like the Todd Monken hire, man. I think he's a cool dude. I think he's a guy with a lot of coaching experience. I think he's a guy that knows how to run an offense. He had Stetson Bennett get drafted in the NFL when he was the offensive coordinator at Georgia. Lamar Jackson had his best year of football under Todd Monken as offensive coordinator. So I'm ready to see what he can do with Shedeur. And I do think Shedeur is going to be the next quarterback going into this next year. It's a weak quarterback class, in my opinion. Fernando Mendoza is going to go number 1. Dante Moore decided to go back to college, so it's not going to be any pushback there for the number 2 pick. I don't even know who the next quarterback off the board is going to be. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Garrett Nussmeier or Carson Beck. I don't know. I haven't gotten fully deep into my draft bag just yet. I will as we get past the Super Bowl. I'll be jumping into it. But not a heavy quarterback class. So I think Shedeur is definitely going to be the starter for the Cleveland Browns. We saw his press conference, not his press conference, but we saw he got to have a meeting with Todd Monken, and they met each other. He said, I've been trying to draft you, and Todd Monken recruited Shedeur out of high school. Todd Monken tried to draft him to the Baltimore Ravens last year, so they finally get the pairing to happen. I like it. I think with Quinshon Junkins and with some of the other guys they have on this offense, some of the young guys they have on this offense, David Njoku will come back and be healthy as well. They got Harold Fannin Jr., who had a great year as a rookie. Bring in some weapons at receiver, help bolster that offensive line. I can't wait to see what this offense looks like with Shedeur and the Cleveland Browns. I'll be watching. I'll be tuned in just because I'm a Shedeur fan. I don't care what happens to the Browns or what decisions they make. I'll just be watching as long as they got Shedeur there right now. I think Shedeur is going to be their next guy. Let's look at some of these NBA games here, and we'll get off here today. Folks, Detroit versus Denver. That game is going on right now. Detroit's already up in that game. New York's already putting a beat down on the Wizards. The Lakers and the Nets play in just a couple of minutes. Obviously, we got the Lakers in that game. Atlanta and Miami. I'll take Miami going in that game. The TV games, Boston versus Dallas. I get it. Cooper Flagg is really good. He had 49 the other night. Really good. He was the number 1 pick in the draft. But the Mavericks suck. We don't have to watch them on TV every single night. Every time I look up, the Mavs are on TV. I get it. They need a new American star. All the best players, the SGA and Jokic and Luka Doncic. They need a new American star. I get that. I don't want to get forced to watch the Mavericks play every other day, though. They're not good. They're not good. I'd rather watch Klay Thompson's content that he's doing with Megan Thee Stallion cooking and stuff than watch him go out there and miss 4 or 5 threes playing with the Mavericks. Don't nobody want to see that, man. Stop putting the Mavs on TV. I got the Boston in that game tonight. Orlando and Thunder, the game that should have been on TV. Orlando versus the Thunder, I think is going to be a pretty good game. I got the Thunder in that one. And the night game, of course, no one will be watching at this point on NBC. The Phoenix Suns playing against the Portland Trail Blazers. What a terrible game. Give me the Phoenix Suns in that game. Like, who was picking these NBC games, y'all? Who's picking these NBC games? Sometimes they're good. We got the Rockets and Spurs last week. That was a good one. We get some decent ones every now and then. But then we get these games. Phoenix versus Portland, even before the season, before the records. How in the world did anybody think that was going to be good? A good game with Phoenix versus Portland. So I don't know who's winning in that game. I mean, I don't know who's going to be watching that, but I got Phoenix winning that game tonight. Philly versus Golden State. Give me Philly in that game. Golden State is in turmoil. They're talking about trading Draymond Green as if somebody wants to trade for Draymond Green. Who's going to trade for Draymond? Maybe the Lakers, just because the Lakers are always desperate for defenders and star power. But outside of that, what is the market for Draymond Green? I don't know. I don't even know why they came out and said we're looking for it. They could be coming to a trade with him. To get what? What is somebody going to give up for Draymond Green? But I got Philly winning in that game tonight. Hey, folks, we're out of time here today on Centex Primetime. I want to thank everybody for tuning in with us here today. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe to the channel. We've got a full week of sports here. Tomorrow, MCC basketball, 5 o'clock and 7 o'clock. Both teams ranked top 25 in the nation. They'll be playing against Southwestern Christian College. Thursday, we've got MCC softball. Friday, we've got MCC baseball. Saturday, we've got baseball, softball, and basketball all going at the same time right here on Centex Sports Network. So make sure you guys tune in to get ready for that. Signing off here today, Jalen, Gillis. We'll see you guys next time here on Centex Primetime. Happy Super Bowl Sunday. We will see you guys next time.